What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Lead From Here podcast. I'm Jason. Today we are talking about how to respond when things go sideways, when shit goes wrong. And this is something that that actually somebody reached out to me about and said, hey, like, everything with the shit in my team is like the whole world is broken. Everybody's frustrated. We missed a big deadline. Where do I go from here? How do I successfully turn this around and get us back on track? And this is a question that actually is actually very, it's going to sound like a broken record the way I answer it, because ultimately that is kind of the core thesis of basically everything I believe in as a leader, and a lot of leaders that have found success also believe in, especially in the kind of the newer age of leadership. It starts with, it's going to be a shocker, listening and empathy. So you just got to listen. You got to listen to whatever your team's feeling, whatever they're frustrated by, whatever they think you did wrong, or what they think leadership did wrong, or what they think their peers did wrong. Listen, process, show empathy. Say, hey, I hear you. I understand what you're saying, and I may not always agree with everything, and you probably won't, because honestly, there's going to be a lot of like finger pointing and blame game and all that, and you'll probably take a big, large brunt of that. But that's kind of your job. Your job is to take the brunt of that, because you are the leader of this team. So if the team went to shit, it's on you. It's your fault. That's okay. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you should be fired. It means that you made a mistake, or you let mistakes compound, or you let a situation not be dealt with properly within the teams, and that's ultimately on you. And that's okay, as long as you learn from it and grow into it. That certainly doesn't mean that you're, done forever and you'll never make a mistake again. You absolutely will, and that's okay. That's part of being human. So if you take the kind of the tact of like, let me hear what's going on, let me hear how they're feeling, you'll get a better picture of what's actually happening. You'll get a better picture of how they're feeling, what the problems are on the team, what the problems are with their vision of leadership or your strategy. They may be totally off base, because a lot of those feelings are just going to be based on frustration, anger, sadness, grief, whatever happened, depending on like somebody got fired and it was a layoff, or if it was like, a major missed deadline or a team restructuring, whatever it is. It could be a lot of different things, but ultimately at the end of the day, you're kind of you're at the core of it. You're the leader. It's on you. So if you're listening and you're hearing what they have to say, this does not mean agree with everything they say. Show empathy. Tell them that you're listening. Tell them that you understand how they feel. That is important. And there will be a season of that. At some point, you cannot let this go on for a long time. Like, let's say if you're doing weekly one-on-ones, let it go for a couple of one-on-ones. After a few, 2, 3, don't let it continue. Now it's your time to kind of start pivoting that conversation, because if you just let them spiral, which I have done in my life, in my leadership life, I have let people just kind of spiral for months on end. And I thought I was helping. I thought I was allowing them to kind of like vent their frustration. And maybe there was an aspect that was a little bit helpful and allowing them to vent, but I wasn't being a leader, and I wasn't taking their frustrations and pivoting it to things that are actually productive and actually like will help all of us, including them, get through this frustrating time. So after 1 or 2, maybe 3, it's time to start, instead of listening all the time and taking empathy, then it's on you to start pivoting their mindset, pivoting their thought process, giving them context, or giving them things to look at as a counterpoint to what they're thinking, especially if what they think happened or what they think is happening is not actually accurate. Now, if it's accurate, obviously say like, you know what, I think that was a great idea, and we're moving forward with that idea, and this is how we're going to implement it, and this is the change you're seeing, so we can move on past this. But if it's just, they're frustrated and they think it's dumb and they think it was a bad situation, like then just say, I understand you feel that way. Here's what we're doing to fix that. It's not exactly what you're saying, but it is ultimately going to get to where you want to be. And that's really what you are trying to do. You're not trying to fix the situation. You're not trying to pretend like the situation didn't happen. Your goal is to show them that their shit happened. You listened. You showed them empathy. You cared. You should really have to care. Again, this is a broken record, but as long as you're doing that, when you start to pivot it, they'll understand that like, hey, he listened, he or she listened. They know that they have my best interest at heart, and we're going to go this way. And as long as you're doing it with, genuine good intentions, it's going to work out fine. I hope this is helpful. If you like what you're hearing, please hit like, subscribe, all that, follow, whatever it is on all these different platforms. I appreciate it greatly. Yeah, take care, everybody.